Obviously, if today didn't go well, you probably want to retake. But if you're on the fence about it, if you're unsure, you want to be thinking about what could you do differently next time to get the most out of your studying between now and the next exam or whenever you take it. So if you studied one way, you want to think about having it, and taking a different approach. If you studied using random books off the bookstore shelves, and maybe those books don't use real LSAT questions, or they contain errors of some kind, or they're published by a major prep company and not one of the smaller boutique options that tends to be more specialized, you might consider a whole new course of approach. You might consider getting more exams. Maybe you didn't study with all the most recent tests. And so changing your approach with the materials that you use is one thing you could do. You want to be using the newest exams, the most recent 2 or 3 books of 10 actual exams, and then any of the individual exams that follow. You want to be using books that have good reviews. You want to be using books that use real LSAT questions. And you want to make sure that you have enough time to study. So if you have been working a lot lately, or you have a busy course schedule, or other things have been coming up in your life, family, friends, other obligations, other priorities, you want to rethink, what are those priorities? What could I do differently next time around? Could I get better materials? Could I invest more in those materials? Could I think more thoroughly about what I'm doing and why? Maybe you've been doing lots of timed exams and you have not been reviewing them in excruciating detail. One of the things I focus on in my courses is getting into the LSAT mindset, because the LSAT mindset is what's going to allow you to get the most out of your review as possible. So think about analyzing everything that you have trouble with, everything you get wrong, everything you had difficulty with, everything you could have been approaching more efficiently, and fill notebooks with your review. That's the best way to get the most out of your study in the later stages when you're studying for a retake, is excruciatingly detailed review. You also want to be thinking about better simulating test day. So maybe you took a lot of exams in the comfort of your own home, which is a fairly sterile environment. Maybe you weren't super strict with yourself on timing. Maybe you weren't giving yourself enough in the way of distractions. And maybe nerves or anxiety got the best of you. This is a major aspect of LSAT prep that most students don't pay enough attention to. It's why my newest course is on test day success, focusing on the test day mindset, properly simulating test day conditions, properly preparing for and dealing with all the fears and anxieties and doubts and self-limiting beliefs that come up. And so if you're interested in doing things differently next time around and finding a better course of approach, you might want to check out the test day success course. The details on that are in the link below this video if you'd like to find out more. You also want to be thinking overall about how you could allocate your time and your schedule over the next few months until your next LSAT exam. So maybe you want to take a bit of time off work, or at least in the lead up to the exam in the final week. You want to take a day or two off beforehand if you can. Maybe you want to talk with your boss and work fewer hours per week. Maybe you want to talk more with your family and friends and ask that they give you the space to spend more time studying, and they take a load off you here and there where they can. So those are just some thoughts. Of course, I have schedules. I have 2 schedules for retaking. One of them is just a general schedule that focuses on your weak areas and timed exam. And the other one is a crazy, super intense schedule for people who are studying full-time and want to do every exam ever released, which of course is nuts, and I wouldn't recommend doing all of those. But if you are changing your approach and part of that involves studying full-time, you might want to check out the intense version of my retake schedule, where I go into detail on that. And that's under books, under schedules on my website. It's totally free, and so you can check that out as well.